What is the creepiest explainable, non-paranormal story or event that happened to you? This happened to my mom in the early 70s. My mom was deep asleep in the middle of the night, but something jarred her awake. In the darkness of her bedroom, she could see a strange man opposite her bed staring at her. She had no idea who this guy was, and was terrified because she was a single parent at the time and my older brother, who was about 3, was in the next bedroom. My mom calmly asked the guy who he was and what he was doing there. He informed her that he was the son of my grandma's friend and he just had to meet my mom. My mom decided that the best course of action was to treat this guy like a family friend and offered to make some coffee and brought him into the kitchen. She tried to make small talk with him until he left a couple of hours later after she told him she had to get to school in the morning. Fortunately, the guy left pretty easily. My mom thought for sure she was going to be raped and murdered by this guy. She never learned how he figured out where she lived, but as far as she knows, he never bothered her again. Did a week-long travel trip for work and I stayed at a house from Airbnb. It was a decent neighborhood. 10 p.m., I decided to go out for a jog around the area when I noticed this male silhouette standing across the street looking at me. I thought nothing of it and kept jogging. Jogged about a mile later and stopped to stretch. I see the exact same silhouette standing across the street looking at me. WTF, how did they get there that fast? I thought. I thought he might have been following me jogging but didn't sense someone running behind me. I jogged for another 2 miles and looking back to make sure he wasn't following me, which I didn't notice he did, and then there the same silhouette again standing right in front. It's like he either flew or teleported. Eventually I stood still and eventually he left gliding on the road and I noticed he was wearing very quiet rollerblades. I jogged back to the house and there he was again and he rolled up to me and we talked. There I found out he was a nearby neighbor and he was on neighborhood watch, indeed wearing rollerblades. So when I was in high school I had 2 neighbors across the street, a man in his 40s and what I assume was his mother in probably her 70s. The mom was pretty clearly mentally ill. I'm not a doctor so I have no idea what was going on with her, but she wore plastic bags on her feet and she would always hobble outside with her walker, onto their grass outside and just yell random stuff. Typical mentally ill person fare, the devil this, the government that. Now she always had a walker, and I saw her use it for years. One day I'm homesick from school and in the middle of the afternoon she goes outside and starts yelling stuff, then returns inside. I was just about to grab the mail. My National Geographic was delivered, but waited till she went back in. I'm at the mailbox and see the door open, so I try and make a quick exit and this woman suddenly throws down her walker and sprints at me yelling, "You're that little bitch, you're that devil," and I fucking bolt, make it into the house and lock the door. She stands outside peering into the front window for 2 hours while I try and get a hold of my parents. No cell phones at the time. Anyway, my mom went and talked to the son later that day. Apparently she was on new medication that was just fucking her up and wasn't feeling pain, which is why she sprinted despite needing a walker, or at least that's what he told me. Mom. Still scares the shit out of me though. I'm still freaked out by this, but anyways, when I was 18 I lived at my girlfriend's house with her parents and it was a duplex, so we had neighbors right on the other side of the house. We had our room up in the attic which was right next to the bedroom where this couple had their bedroom in. The only part of the house where the duplex directly connected was the crawl space that connected these 2 attic bedrooms, but that didn't bother us. We didn't think there was anything to worry about. We find out 3 months later that this 40-year-old mother that lived in the attic room over was mentally unstable and would constantly crawl into the crawl space that led to behind our bed and would record our conversations, every night. She would just sit there and listen to us and record what we said, completely unknown to us, for 3 fucking months. Apparently she was obsessed with us and wanted to figure stuff out about us. We found out after she showed my girlfriend's mother. We stayed at my father's house for a while until they got evicted for not paying rent. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video please press the like button. Also, if you are interested in more, please subscribe and turn on the bell to get notified when a new video is dropped.